What is up, MTB fam? Westin Smith coming at you today with a fresh video on Karl's Bait and Tackle's newly launched crankbaits, man. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to be throwing around quite a few lipless, medium, and shallow diving cranks. We're going to be tossing them by the docks out here on this windy day, overcast, a little cloudy. It's perfect for throwing these moving baits in Texas. 74 degrees, about to have some fun, man. All of these are going to be linked down in the description below. I'm going to get a few tied on. It should be a good bite. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Couple preliminary steps and then we're out in the water. We're grabbing the pliers, definitely going to want those for the treble hooks. We're going to unload all these goodies, showcase them for y'all, and then we are going to rig them up on two different combos right here with some fairly light pound fluorocarbon on one, and we'll cover that here in just a second. Okay, so here we go. What we're throwing is a 13 Fishing Fate Black and Origin Reel combo, 7-1 medium heavy with 12-pound fluoro. This is the favorite Phantom rigged rod, and this is 7-2 medium heavy with the 𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗶 and 17-pound fluorocarbon. We're gonna get rocking and rolling, y'all. I'm thinking we're gonna go with one lipless and one shallow diver to start and see what happens from there. So my thinking behind the lipless is tie that onto the 17-pound fluorocarbon. There might be something bigger that hits this guy right here, a little larger size. 17 pounds gonna be great. Also, I can kind of control the depth with this one, but on this shallow diver, I'm thinking I'm gonna tie on this shad shallow diver onto the lighter line, the 12-pound fluorocarbon. My thinking behind that is so that little guy can get the full depth rating, because a lot of these cranks are rated to that 12-pound line, and so you won't get that true depth unless you're using that lighter diameter line. Let me go ahead and get this thing tied on. I like doing a Palomar knot for almost anything and everything. Oh yeah, money. Very excited. All right, y'all, the fun begins. I'm thinking we start with the, what do you think, the little guy? See if we can't get hit on the shad. Let's go for it. It's real windy today, guys, and this is a lighter crank, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on max brakes, and we're gonna see how she fares before I decide to cut it back a little bit. Swims real nice, first impressions. Good wiggle to it. Perfect depth for this pond. This is an awesome shad pattern. I tend to have good luck with that shad pattern regardless of the clarity, but the water here is pretty clear, and so it's tough to say if I'll get a hit on this since it looks less natural and like what is swimming around here that these fish are munching on a day-to-day basis, but we're gonna give it a fair shot. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes with this little guy. Let's go ahead and throw the thwacker real fast and see if color plays any part and whether these fish are biting right over here or not in this spot before we move on. So this one, a little bit darker, closer to what's swimming around in here, more natural appearance. We can get some far casts on this one. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, lipless is going all the way across this pond. I had these brakes turned down yesterday. I gotta crank those back up. We're casting right into the wind, and I got them on 2 out of 6. I'm gonna go ahead and just crank it all the way to 6 because this thing will get distance. These lipless, they fly. Oh yeah, even on max brakes, this thing is really cutting through the wind and getting out there. And I've come around to these lipless, man. I used to only fish the crankbaits primarily like, you know, 1 to 3 foot divers, just because a lot of the ponds I fish, I'm fishing from the bank, and I need something that stays pretty shallow. But these lipless, you can really control the depth with the speed you're bringing the bait back in with. Also, if you do this little technique right here where you raise the rod tip up and then you just crank in the slack on the way down, it tends to stay above a lot of the weeds and vegetation you might be hitting otherwise. And it gives it a nice pause. Whenever you raise that rod tip up, you're bringing the lure in. Then whenever you lower it and crank that reel, it's just kind of paused there, almost like a jerk bait. Really gets them enticed to strike on that pause, I have found. One just chased it up. Dang. That was the closest we've gotten. One just chased it in. There we go. Oh, no. Dang, we had one right here. This is good. This area, there's been 2 fish that have seen it. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Slow and steady. That's how you do it, folks. Check your line. It's feeling pretty good. Just missed that 2-pounder right there. That was a bummer. But I think we'll have more opportunities here in just a minute. There we go. There's the first fish. Awesome, guys. First fish hits on the thwacker. Well, second fish hits on the thwacker. First fish caught on that thwacker. Digging it. Let's get him back in the water. Ooh. Throwing it right along the bank here. He was just outside this grassy edge right here. There's a lot of grass built up about 5 feet out. I was just on the tail end of it, right out on the outskirts where they're probably hiding as it drops off, and he hit it right before the grass, and he tried to bury us deep down in there, and we managed to pull him out. That's the first catch right there on the lipless. I think now we give that other one a shot and see what happens. Gotta go backtrack a little bit to get it. That'll be fine. The advantage of this is I can whip it up and start cranking it real fast over that grass, whereas this next one, it's going to be a little bit trickier. I might have to find where there's a hole in the grass to cast it, because it's going to stay at a depth of 1 to 3 feet. So I'm going to just cut right through that grass if I don't watch myself. Okay guys, we took a quick break, but we're back over here. Devin's with me now, and we're gonna go ahead and tie on a couple new ones to go with the ones we already caught a couple on. We made one catch with the thwacker already, and now we're gonna tie on the wedge, which dives 2 to 4 feet, this bigger sucker here, and ghost gill, and we're gonna tie on the burnt craw colored baby boy, which also dives 2 to 4 feet. We're gonna see if we can't get any on these two here, along with that shad colored one that we still have tied on. Let's get right to it. Get the shad baby boy back out. Devin just tied on one of the wedges, that ghost gill color, and then I now need to tie on the baby boy and burnt craw, and we will be having at it. Burnt craw tied on. Ooh, and I hear the rattles in the wedge. I like that. This one's pretty sweet. Yeah, I think they all have rattles. That's awesome. When sight is less of a factor, but they can hear it. And I like the size treble hooks on the wedge right here. This thing should dive 2 to 4 feet. This thing's got an interesting looking bill. Curious how it's gonna swim. Pretty excited. No, you don't. Do you really? Oh my gosh. Oh God. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Oh, she had one on the wedge like 5th cast, and it just came off on the bank. Oh no. Well,
it's on the ground.
You was
not happy about this.
Get back out there. You had him. There we go. On the orange. Got him. Guys, if you're using treble hooks, don't mess around, especially these small ones. They're almost harder to deal with. Anything could happen. Anything could happen on a moment's notice. All right, guys. There we go. Check that out. That's what we are talking about. Oh, man. Look at that. Done, baby. Burnt craw. Taken care of. Baby boy dives 2 to 4 feet. I bet you we can throw the shad one in here and get one on that real quick too. Second fish, y'all. Devin's came off, but we gonna get all 5 of these, trust me. This is that burnt craw. This is the baby boy, dives 2 to 4 feet. Taking care of business, man, at the local spot. We love fishing this pond, and it's because it produces the giants only. Real quick before we let him go, we just want to thank Mystery Tackle Box for giving us the opportunity to even film this video and post it up on the channel for you guys. I think y'all are gonna dig it though. With all these new crankbaits that just came out, we can showcase a few of them, tell you a few tips and tricks. I think you're really gonna love it. So let's get this little guy back in the water. All right, I'm gonna give the shad baby boy another shot. Go. Oh, it's a bluegill. That's what we're talking about right there. Baby boy picking us up a big old bluegill. That counts as a catch to me, but in case y'all don't count it, we might try and throw this one around here a little bit more in a minute. For now, I'm gonna tie on the next wedge and see what happens with that. All right, y'all, your favorite lures are multi-species. Let's get back in there. Now I'm throwing on one that's similar to what Devin's throwing. This is the wedge, 2.75 inch quart or half ounce, and moonlight shad. So far we've knocked out the baby boys and the thwacker. All we've got to do is catch fish on these big wedge style cranks and we're good. And we're trying to keep the rod tip as low as possible to keep these things just above that grass on the bottom without getting caught. We're bringing it across nice and slow. We're finding out that's kind of the key today. Sometimes they like it when it's just flying by and it's just a straight up reaction strike, but today I think they've actually got time to take a look at it and decide they want to go after it. They're chasing it, but once again kind of nice and slow. That way they can think about it for a second, chase it in, and then grab it right before it's coming towards the so-called bank here. Look how the bill is shaped. Pretty sweet little design, gives it a nice wiggle. Rattle gets their attention, colors are on point, hooks are straight. We're looking good, you guys. I'm excited. Each reel too, depending on the gear ratio, how quick you need to turn that handle to get the proper wiggle out of these things, the right movement to get those fish to want to bite. And so what I'm finding is with this one, I got to slow it down just to even a little bit more than with some of these other reels that we've been casting so far. Find that cadence right there with your reel to bring it in at just the right speed, and you'll be able to feel that proper wiggle through the rod tip. It also helps you detect those bites and helps you determine if you're maybe caught in some weeds, because you'll feel when it's not working properly, and so that's an advantage as well. Gave the spot a couple minutes. I think we're going to move back out to that open water and see if these larger size wedge lures can't get us some bigger ones out there in that area.
I've actually got a fish. I was wondering. I didn't know if it was a fish or not. Whoa! It's a monster crappie!
Guys, we just landed a monstrosity of a crappie. We're about to put this thing on the scale. He's so dang big. That was on the Moonlight Shad. All we have left to catch one on is the Ghost Gill, which Devin technically caught one on right off the bat, but it came off. So let's get to throwing that thing, and we're gonna close this out. Devin's gonna go ahead and let me throw the Ghost Gill for a second because she's having bad luck today. Bad fortune out of nowhere, but I'm gonna go ahead and give that Ghost Gill a shot while she's gonna throw the, is that the Moonlight Shad? Yeah. She's gonna toss that Moonlight Shad around a little bit and see what happens. That's the last color we got to get it on, is that Ghost Gill right there. Let's make it happen. Dives 2 to 4 feet, the wedge. What's up, guys? We're back for day 2 of the Karl's Bait and Tackle Crank sessions, and we didn't feel like we got enough catches yesterday to put this thing together, so I'm going to try and snag a few more bass today. There's a storm rolling in this afternoon. It is already crazy clouds on the move, overcast, and check this out, the Bass Forecast app. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I utilize this app from time to time just to see how the bite might be, and today it says it's an epic rating of 9.4. Yeah, it's saying the bite should be on, man, so let's get these cranks in the water. We don't got time to delay. There we go, first one of the morning. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that right there. First bite of the morning. I know I'm not showcasing the biggest bass on these things right here, but we're about to hit another pond here in a minute. I just wanted to get a couple fish, make sure this 9.4 rating is really telling the truth. Let's put this one away now that we got a bass catch on that one landed. And before we switch locations, let's try and grab a little something on this OG shad color again. See if we can't get a catch on this one, since what we brought in was not a bass. Bringing them through nice and slow with the rod tip up here. I'm just staying above the grass. There we go. Boom. That's fish number 2 this morning, and about less than 5 minutes apart, maybe 10 casts into this OG shad color. So the bite is looking pretty good this morning. Let's get him back in the water, try and snag another. All right, that's a few this morning. Let's go ahead and let's get to the other pond where I think we can actually catch a big mama. Well, maybe I'll try another spot. All right, y'all, we just rolled up to a pond about half an hour away from home, but I got private access to a pond I've never fished before in my life. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit, but I think we're still ahead of the storm by a few hours, and so I'm gonna try and get these bass for you guys this morning on these baits. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Fish on. That's on the lipless. Oh, goodness gracious. We're just gonna let you go. That was a dink. I know they're hanging out by this thing for sure. There we go. Got him. I knew it. There we go. Young buck hit it right here by the deal. That's another one on the thwacker. Shoo. There we go. Got him, baby. Woo! It's getting it now. That's what I'm talking about. Right here where it gets deeper. Oh, wow. That's wanted it. That was a good one. All right, guys, that's going to conclude the Karl's Bait and Tackle MTB Baits newest lures on the market. All those cranks. We had a lot of fun with each and every one of them. Caught fish on each and every one of them. Even wrapped things up with the thwacker out here at different ponds and with a few extra catches. Nothing of size, but you know, that's okay. We're going to let these ones grow up, turn into some lunkers, and we'll be back for them in the future. If you guys like this video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to MTB's channel, check mine out if you're interested, and if not, it's all good. Peace out, y'all.